I have played Black Ops 7 Zombies, and in this video, I'm going to tell you my honest first impressions. And as you guys know, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'm also going to praise the stuff that I genuinely felt was awesome. The context here, in case you don't know why I'm telling you that I've played it now when the beta hasn't started yet, is that I was invited to Treyarch 2 months ago to play Black Ops 7 Zombies early at the studio. I played it there. Activision at first didn't allow us to say anything about what we played other than I played Black Ops 7 Zombies early, which I felt was really silly. So I made videos talking about the fact that it was silly, and eventually Activision yielded on their policy and they're now allowing us to talk about it. So that's why I'm going to be diving into detail on it today. Now, I'm going to go section by section talking about things like visuals and story and gameplay and all sorts of different sectors of critique and analysis. And so there's going to be some sections of the video that are completely positive, others that are completely negative, and others still that are a mix of all of the above. So you're going to need to sort of work through all the different chapters of the video in order to get an understanding of my overall, more comprehensive opinion. So let's start with visuals. This, I think, was the thing that was unanimously praised when I was at Treyarch. Every single Zombies YouTuber, including myself, felt like the visual aesthetic of Ashes of the Damned, and specifically of Van Dorn Farm, was really gorgeous. It was a great change compared to all of the stuff that we'd seen prior in Black Ops 6 Zombies, Cold War Zombies, Vanguard Zombies, Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Like, all the modern iterations of Zombies have felt like they haven't really nailed what the dark ether aesthetic could be. Maybe with one or two exceptions in Cold War, maybe. But in Black Ops 7 Zombies, they have nailed it, in my opinion. I think that Ashes visually just looks great. And it looks like it's making some strides, and there's a caveat here which we'll get into, but some strides to try and fix the problem that I felt was one of the biggest issues actually with Black Ops 6. As much as it doesn't seem it on the surface, there is a sort of internal problem to the way that Black Ops 6 Zombies maps are designed, and that's that the narrative and the story and the writing team and the art direction and the visual and the level design team don't feel like they are cohesively working together on the same eventual outcome, but instead it feels like they are siloed, working on different things at different times, and so there isn't enough that interweaves between the two things. Citadel Daymore is a great example of this. It's a map that is so rich in theoretical story stuff, and yet the map itself, the level design, the visual style, doesn't tell you those stories. It's actually very bland, weirdly. And I say all this to say, in Black Ops 7, because the world looks so much more rich, I think that there's room for it to feel like the stories being told in the environments actually matter and actually relate to some of the stuff that we're seeing in Intel or what have you. Now, it is simply too early to say whether this is categorically the case or whether it's just a strong visual improvement, but it's not going to actually line up with the story they're trying to tell. We're going to have to wait and see, but it's still a step in the right direction, so that still deserves some praise. Another thing that is very positive in Black Ops 7 Zombies is the music. I still think out of every single department of Treyarch, if you look at level design, you look at the narrative team, you look at the AI team, you look at the people designing the guns, whatever it is, I think that the department over the years at Treyarch that has been consistently the top of their game for 16 years, it's the audio team. They are just so good at what they do. And I think it's really easy to take them for granted. Like, I think a lot of people look at game graphics and go, whoa, these graphics are sick, or, oh, these graphics suck, but they don't actually make the same consideration of sound, not realizing that sound has such a huge impact on the way that you relate to the world and experience the world being presented to you. And I really feel like the Treyarch audio team, as much as I praise them really regularly, don't get enough flowers for just how good they are. Brian Chewy, as the audio director, is like an unsung hero of COD Zombies. he just is. And I mean, obviously Kevin Sherwood is a name that a lot of us also know, but there's so many people that touch all of the audio systems in Call of Duty, and specifically in Treyarch and as it pertains to zombies. And I think that the sum of the parts there are just doing a great job. I really do. I think some of the music that I've heard for Black Ops 7, including Damned 8, is spectacular. I'm a massive fan, and I really hope that the stellar work that they are doing means that they continue to be given free reign, or the freest possible reign, to do what they feel is best for the game and best for the mode. Because when they are uncapped and they are allowed to just flourish, they do such brilliant work. So I cannot stress enough how much I love the work of the Treyarch sound team, and I really look forward to hearing more of that in the full game. Next, let's talk about story. This one's a weird one, I would say, because what I experienced of playing Black Ops 7 was a little limited in this area, because we at the time were on a build which did not contain Treyarch, I was just going to say Treyarch Infinity Ward Sledgehammer. No, Richtofen, Takio, Nikolai, and Dempsey. Introducing your new favorite operator, Treyarch. No, so they weren't in the build. So I didn't get to experience those character quotes. I didn't get to experience what it was like to play as them once again. But I have since heard a bunch of Nelson Lee quotes. And I have to say, I so far am impressed with Nelson Lee's rendition of Takio. I think that that's going in a good direction. I want to encourage Nelson Lee. I think that he's doing a good job there. He's got such big boots to fill, and they are so big that they will never be filled. But it seems like he's taking a spin at the character that is his own. And I really respect that, actually, and I think he's doing a good job so far, which is a very pleasant surprise. And that's not a surprise because I think Nelson Lee is an insufficient voice actor. It's more so just that I was just worried about how Treyarch and Activision would approach it. So far, so good. Still don't really know why he can speak English, though, seeing as he's from, what, like the 16th century or something? I don't know. We'll figure it out when the game comes out. So I'm limited to what I can say about character quotes, but I can speak to just the premise of what I've seen and what I've experienced in the game itself. And it's a much better premise than we've had for the last 5 years. It just candidly is just significantly better. However, I've been burned so much by the modern zombies writing style and approach that I am very hesitant to be purely positive about anything that's just a promise or a whisper in the distance, rather than anything concrete I have in front of me. Black Ops 6 seemed to be launching off into a fairly interesting direction. In fact, the ending of Cold War with Peck, especially, was really exciting. I thought that the Cold War ending was pretty solid, actually. It was really well done. It was very cinematic and dramatic. And so as much as they had an amazing premise going to Black Ops 6, and the Liberty Falls cutscene was so good. Like, oh my god, best zombies cutscene of all time. I still believe that to be the case. That Liberty Falls intro is just unbelievable. It's incredible. And then Liberty Falls came out, and the story in that map is cheeks. And the story of Black Ops 6 Zombies, to be honest, overall, has all these little shoots sprouting through the year that could be exciting, could be interesting. And then it's like someone's playing whack-a-mole and going, boop, nope. We don't get to do anything interesting. Boop. Nope. We have to stay in the multiplayer universe. Boop. Yep. Nope. That sounds too much like old zombies. We can't go there. Like, it was so frustrating. And to speak very tentatively, the impression I get is that there are some potential new sprouts forming for Black Ops 7 Zombies that, if allowed to bloom, will be incredible. I mean, the premise of going to a New York post-World War II where Nazi Germany won and post-nuclear bomb dropping is such an insane premise. But again, it's a premise. And if we get to it, and the map design doesn't interweave with the story, and the story feels like we're going after another 10 MacGuffins just to get to an ending that felt like it could have happened as DLC 1, I'm going to be bored. And candidly, I'm not going to cover the story if that happens, because it's going to be lame as hell, just like I sort of ended up stopping covering it in Black Ops 6, because the Black Ops 6 story burned me to such a great degree. I am like John storyline, bro. I've sunk literally thousands of hours of my life into just the story of COD Zombies, and it's in the worst state it's ever been. And Black Ops 7 might be able to turn that around, but it is too early to say. Next, let's talk about gameplay. I gave very very strong feedback at Treyarch, to Kevin Drew, and to various other members of the Treyarch team that what they showed us when I played Black Ops 7 early was completely insufficient, to be honest, in the gameplay department. I made it extremely clear that I was heavily disappointed. And the reason I was heavily disappointed is I was playing Survival and it felt identical to Black Ops 6. Like, absolutely identical. Yes, there was a new Ravager that would attack me on a special round, but it felt like it might as well have just been a vermin. Yes, there was a Zersa, right? Yes, there was a bear. Okay, cool. But it felt like it might as well have just been any other special enemy, and it was actually bugged at the time, and it died in one hit of my Ray Gun Mark II. So, like, I didn't get the full experience of it. But yes, those things were there. Yes, there were some visual changes that I was impressed by. For example, I like the fact that the exfil now is no longer just something that looks like it's straight out of the campaign, but instead it's the yellow phone booth. I like that. I also like the fact that the ammo cache is now overflowing with ammo. It's like a treasure chest. It's got Mr. Peaks on it. It no longer feels like a Warzone mechanic as much. I like these changes, right? These are very positive individual things. But these are things that should have been in Black Ops 6. There's no excuse. We had Cold War zombies, and then we had years go by, and then we had Black Ops 6 zombies, and those things were still problems. So do they really get praise now for fixing those sorts of systems like a game too late, in my opinion? I feel like that would be a weird thing to be really, really positive about without giving the caveat that this could have happened 5 years ago, right? Like, if we were getting a full zombies experience back then, this could have just happened then. And there are other things in the game, like the armor system, which are the exact same. It is identical. And that is the biggest gripe of the whole community. I think that the armor thing is bigger than the HUD thing even. And the HUD thing is still problematic as of what we've seen so far, but it's seemingly going to be fixed at launch, so TBD, we're just going to have to wait and see on that. But the armor system certainly is a big pain point. The fact that they didn't even take any step in this game to make the armor feel less Warzone-y is just an L. And it shows, again, that, like, we could be positive about the ammo stuff, but it just feels like what's actually happening is we're finally getting the things we should have already had. And I struggle to be particularly enthusiastic about that. Similarly, there's new augments, right? Okay, cool. And there's some changes to the old augments. Okay, cool. But it's the same augment system. And what I think this is going to mean is that we're going to get probably between 1 and 2 DLCs into the year, and then the augment system is going to feel really solved. It's going to feel completed because we've already had a year of this stuff. We've already solved the augments sandbox in Black Ops 6. Yes, we're making modifications to it in Black Ops 7, but it's not a new thing. It's just more of a thing that already exists, and I think that's going to get stale really quickly. And this is it's a weird one, right? Because while I'm saying all of this stuff, and I'm being very critical of the fact that systems-wise, it just feels the same as Black Ops 6. It just does. And every other zombies YouTuber at the event said the exact same thing. This isn't just Milo being like a pain in the ass. This is everybody saying it felt like Black Ops 6. Like, it's just more Black Ops 6. What's going on here? Like, this is the smallest jump in experience that we've had in any zombies game ever. Like, how is that the case? What are we doing? So, as much as that is true, what I've just said, it's also important to understand that I think Black Ops 6's zombies gameplay was pretty good, right? I think it was pretty good. I enjoyed the zombies gameplay overall throughout the year. I personally, as much as I'm not a huge fan of the armor stuff, I grin and bear it and don't mind it at this point. Like, I've just sort of grown accustomed to it, and I understand some of the design decisions that are behind why it exists. So, like, it isn't something that stops me playing the game by any means, right? I know other people have stronger opinions on it. For me, I'm like, I don't like it, but I can live with it. I would say that overall, I enjoyed Black Ops 6, and so it might sound weird to hear me saying, and Black Ops 7 is the same and I don't like it in Black Ops 7, right? I can understand some confusion being present there. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want people to take this in bad faith, which I already see happening on Twitter. I see, like, even other zombies creators doing this, where they'll say things like, oh, it's hypocritical to criticize Black Ops 7 for having more features than Black Ops 6, but to say that Black Ops 6 was good. Like, things along those lines. And the thing that I need you guys to understand is that I am an old man in this scene. I have seen every zombies game turn into every other zombies game. I've seen every single map turn into every next map, right? And over the years, as I just said, we have never had a smaller jump in gameplay systems than we have between Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. It's never happened before. And I don't think that that is good. Let me give you an example that is an analog here that we can use to understand why I think this is the case, okay? Yes, I think Black Ops 6 was good, but repeating Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 I think is bad. Let's transfer that over to a Black Ops 3 situation. Yes, I thought that the gameplay in Black Ops 3 was fantastic, right? I love the Black Ops 3 zombies gameplay experience. Do I think it would have been good to just copy-paste the Black Ops 3 gameplay systems into Black Ops 4? Actually, no. I am much gladder for the fact that Black Ops 4 took bold choices and made bold decisions about what zombies needed to become. I'm much more happy that that happened than we just got infinite clones of Black Ops 3 zombies forevermore, right? Jason Blundell, much as he had his problems and much as there's things to critique about him, he was a visionary for zombies, and he was not content to sit down and only ever refine one experience. Instead, he wanted to iterate, push the boat out, and develop new things. And it feels like that's really shifted since Jason left, and instead now, we are not on the path of pushing the boat out nearly as much as we're on the path of safety and almost protectionism and looking to refine a formula that mostly works rather than shooting for the moon and finding that brand new evolved version of it that is the new fan favorite, right? We've not evolved in that way this year. We've just taken another step forward along the path we were already on, and it's a step that I feel like could have been taken at the launch of Black Ops 6, and it would have made maybe more sense. Like I said this in a video the other day, if you blindfolded me after the release of Citadel Daymore, right? You just put on the blindfold, Christmas went by, we got to January, and then you said, Milo, there's a new Black Ops 6 zombies map, and it's called Ashes of the Damned. And then you took the blindfold off me, and you showed me gameplay of this map. I wouldn't be able to say to you, wait, hold on, there's no way that's in Black Ops 6, right? Like, I would never say that. I'd just be like, oh, this looks like a sick Black Ops 6 map. And then I would be like, oh, wait, hold on. Maybe the HUD looks a bit different. Okay, what's going on there? Is there a specific HUD for this map? Oh, cool. Okay, sick. And like, oh, there's a new enemy type, but like they did that in Black Ops 6 anyway, right? So like the clear and obvious distinction between the two games is not there. And I know that there's going to be these weirdos that always try and poke holes in my argument. It happens every single time. Who will be like, oh, well, Kino der Toten was originally going to be a World at War map, right? But you look at any singular screenshot of World at War, and then you look at any singular screenshot of Kino der Toten, and they are very obviously completely different games. Completely different. They play completely different. The zombies feel completely different. The way they swipe you is completely different. The sound is completely different. Everything is different. It just so happens that the structure of Kino was originally designed for World at War. Cool. We're not talking about the structure. We're talking about everything else that makes the game fun and different and new. And Black Ops 7 Zombies is the same as Black Ops 6 Zombies in that regard. And I think that's going to mean we get a few months into the game and it's samey and it's stale. And I worry that if Treyarch feels that there is no interest in new systems now, we're going to get Black Ops 8 in a few years, and it's just going to be more of this. They'll have finally reworked the visuals of the armor system. Cool. Why didn't that happen 8 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, it's just stuff that I just feel like should already be the case. So I wasn't really enthusiastic about the Black Ops 7 gameplay at all. Because I was expecting new, and I didn't get new, I just got more Black Ops 6. And I think that's a missed opportunity. Will I still enjoy the game? Yes, because I enjoy Black Ops 6. It's just that I've been around the block, I know what zombies can become when there are bold, innovative moves being made, and so it's missed potential. That's what I'm maybe most peeved about, is the missed potential of this game. And again, to be very clear, that's not to say that the gameplay improvements that they've made are bad moves. Like, I like a lot of the changes that I saw made when I played the game. I like the fact that they're reevaluating certain parts of the sandbox. I like the fact that they're thinking more about the mystery box and the progression of your salvage. I like the fact that they're changing the armor wall buys so that they upgrade in place from blue to purple, so you don't have to run to a purple buy if you want the purple after you've bought the blue. Like, these are all good. And I am pretty emphatically positive about all of those changes. It's just that this is like a quality of life patch. Like, a DLC 1, we decided to bring you some extra features for Season 1 Reloaded, right? Like, this doesn't feel new gamey to me. And that's where I personally have a gripe with it. So, overall, there is stuff to really be excited about in Black Ops 7. As I said at the start of the video, I think aesthetically, it's the strongest modern zombies we've ever had. It's just that it's a continuation of some systems that are going to mean that the game feels very samey. And when Black Ops 6 came out, we jumped in and everyone was like, I've got to test every augment and like learn what it does, right? I've got to test the guns and understand what they do. I've got to test all these perks and understand how they work in this game. That's 90% solved in Black Ops 7. Like 80, 90% solved. So what do you think that's going to do for the replayability of the game? Riddle me that. That's why I think it's a problem. So we'll see how it feels in survival. I'll obviously be making a million bajillion videos on it. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those. And hopefully, fingers crossed, in the main Ashes of the Damned experience once it comes out, Cursed mode will be an unlock to solve some of the problems that I'm talking about here. It's just that I haven't played Cursed mode, so I can't speak to whether or not it's going to be any good or whether it's going to suck ass. It's all hypothetical for Cursed. So we'll see. You'll have to stay tuned for that. I hope that there's an opportunity for me to play it before launch so I can kind of give you guys some evaluation of whether or not it's any good. But with how I've been making my videos in the last couple of days, I'm not sure that Activision is going to be inviting me to any Black Ops 7 events anytime soon. We'll see. Hopefully they are willing to take the feedback on the chin, and hopefully there is an opportunity to play it so I can give some feedback there, and I can make your guys' voices heard, and I can also let you guys know whether it's as good as we are all hoping it will be. We'll have to wait and see for that. In the meantime, make sure you're subbed, like I said, and I'll see you on the beta.